Hey gang, it's JC. This is your Daily Dose for Tuesday, October 26, 2010, a cooperative venture with Mind Active in beautiful downtown Brentwood. Archives, top of the page, Eye Candy Archives over there. Dave Murray's weather forecast and the audio on iTunes. We are on the Big 550 KTRS every weekday morning from 10 in the morning until 1. Got that first show out of the way yesterday. A big thanks to Smash and a huge thanks to Joe Buck for being our first guests on the air with us yesterday morning. By the time you see this, we will have completed 2 shows, including a great interview, I'm sure, coming up with Russ Mitchell from CBS News. Tomorrow, Wednesday, we're going to have Dave Murray in the studio. We're going to talk about what happened last night. Man, oh man, and you know what's coming, so we're going to kick around the whole weather thing with Dave tomorrow morning in the 12 o'clock hour on the Big 550 KTRS. If everything goes right, Super Dave Osborne on Friday, by the way. Of course, our new lineup includes Eric Mink on Tuesdays. It's Estrogen Wednesdays. Gina Curry from ABC 30 and Fox 2. Also, Victoria Babu, news director at KTRS, formerly of Fox 2 and Channel 5. And Laura Marshall, area broadcaster. Thursday, comedian Joe Marlotti. And Friday, Smash returning to the scene of the crime. If you can't listen, you can't get AM radio reception where you are, we stream online at KTRS.com. And if you got a smartphone, you can download the $1.99 app called TuneIn Radio. For $2, you get 40,000 radio stations, and you can also record 2 hours at a time on TuneIn Radio. Check out that app. It's only $2. All right, 1 week from today, it'll all be over. It'll be safe to turn on your television again without being bombarded with these annoying political ads. The election is 1 week from today. By the way, back to that storm. I'm going to be talking about this on the air today. Maybe you get a chance to hear it or go to the website at ktrs.com. I know we're going to talk about this on the show today, and that is that in Chicago, the National Weather Service issued this statement saying that the storm that's going through, well, I'm recording this at about 8 o'clock in the morning, the storm's going through Chicago right now. They issued this yesterday, said it could be the worst storm in 70 years. They likened it, this is unbelievable. I'm surprised people just didn't start running for their lives. They likened it to something that was sort of on the level of the storm that Gordon Lightfoot wrote about in The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. Now, if you're living in Chicago and they tell you this, don't you just get in your car and start driving for Florida or something? I can't believe they did that. So we'll talk about that with Dave tomorrow, too. It seems to me to be slightly alarmist on the point, upon the part of the weather service up there. I called my sister. She's like, "You're kidding, right?" I'm like, "No, they're talking about like a cyclone going through." Last night on Larry King, Clarence Thomas's ex-girlfriend, this was the one before Anita Hill, showed up, and she was a credible, I guess you would say, witness. And she said, I just wrote down random notes here, that Clarence had stopped binge drinking about the time that he met her, and that turned him very mean, that he's not stable, that she would not have voted for him for the Supreme Court had she been able to vote because she said, "I know who he is." Also said that he was obsessed with porn, fantasized during sex, was an angry person, and she says that she believed Clarence Thomas and Anita Hill were doing it. And she said it with quite a bit of conviction, too. Uh-oh. Of course, Clarence, as we pointed out yesterday, his favorite Supreme Court ruling was Roe v. Wade. Roe v. Wade. All right, David Arquette and Courtney Cox obviously breaking up. We got that news a couple weeks ago. And now it turns out that maybe one of the things that sort of pushed her over the edge was when that he got a lap dance from a midget. I guess now we call them little people. Oksana Gorgieva, whatever her name is, Mel Gibson's soon-to-be ex. $75,000 on the table from Playboy magazine. She says no. Had she done it, it would have been the first time since Braveheart that anyone's been interested in seeing something Mel Gibson's been in. It's almost Halloween, and Forbes magazine always puts out their 13 top earning dead celebrities lists. And at the top of the list is Michael Jackson. As a matter of fact, not only did he cream all the other dead people, he almost creamed some of the living people. Michael Jackson's estate, $275 million last year. He earned more than most living celebrities. He beats everyone on the list except for Oprah, who topped the list with $315 million. Elvis in second place. Charles Schultz, the Peanuts guy, was fourth. John Lennon fifth. Dr. Seuss made $11 million last year. Seventh place. Albert Einstein in eighth. George Steinbrenner ninth. A tie for 11th place. Jimi Hendrix and Steve McQueen. Their estates each made $6 million last year. And I'm sorry, that was the last part of that, because I'm jumping on to the next story, and that is Tom Cruise is going to be in the sequel to Top Gun. They're doing Top Gun 2. Tom Cruise will be in it, but in a diminished role. But they say it's absolutely going to happen. Gene Simmons of KISS walking through Los Angeles International Airport yesterday and just faints and bangs his head. And luckily, though, his ego broke his fall. This is one of the most amazing things I've ever seen. This is brilliant. Just absolutely brilliant. Because if there's one thing that I would trust American kids with, it's figuring out how to get their hands on the largest amount of candy at Halloween or any other time. And Reader's Digest talked to, like, apparently hundreds and hundreds of American kids and said, give us the tips that you've learned over the years for getting the most candy at Halloween. Listen to this. Listen to the logic and to the just how fluid this is. These kids approach this, if they approach their high school and grade school science projects like they approach this, we'd have, we'd beat out the Asians. All right, so here we go. Number one, the cuter the costume, the more candy you'll get. Number two, pillowcases hold twice as much candy as plastic grocery bags and 3 times as much as the classic orange Halloween pumpkin. And if you decorate your pillowcase, people won't think you're just trying to be greedy. Listen to these kids. Number three, if there are little kids at a door ahead of you, move on. They'll take forever to choose their candy and just slow you down. These kids are attacking this like a military operation. Number four, strike early. The good candy always goes first. There's no reason to be the last people out trick-or-treating. Number five, but if you do see some houses that still have their lights on, swing by, because some of the people might be just trying to unload whatever they have left over. Number six, lots of decorations in the yard are a sign of high-budget candy. The family there clearly cares about Halloween. Number seven, this is amazing. Listen to these kids thinking. See if you can get your dad or a friend's dad to chaperone you. Moms focus too much on manners. Dads respect the quest to get as much candy as possible. They'll also stay out later than most moms. Number eight, plan your route. Figure out your shortcuts, and even though adults may not tell you, run, don't walk. Number nine, the best candy is usually at the bottom of the bowl. When the person filled up their bowl, their instinct was to open the best candy first, so it's at the bottom. And number 10, before you go out, tell your parents you just want to grab a few things from your own house's candy supply. As long as you don't overdo it, you can get a few pieces of the best stuff before the bowl gets picked over. That's just amazing. I can't get over this. New survey finds out the right amount of money to spend on a first date is $85. 108 is too much and 27 is too little. Birthdays today, everybody. Jacqueline Smith, can you believe it? She's 65 years old. I saw a video of Raquel Welch last night, and she is 70 and looks better than most 40-year-old women. It's not her birthday today, but I just thought of that. Hillary Clinton, as we go to the other end of the spectrum, boner shrinker, 63 today. Lauren Tweez from The Love Boat, 56. John Heder from Napoleon Dynamite, 33. Seth MacFarlane from Family Guy, 37. Natalie Merchant, 47, 10,000 Maniacs. Rita Wilson, that's Mrs. Tom Hanks, is 54. Pat Sajak is 64. On this date in 1968, Rudy Giuliani. Try to follow me. On this date in 1968, Rudy Giuliani married his first wife, Regina Peruggi. After 14 years of marriage, it was annulled in 1982 when Rudy discovered that he was married to his second cousin. He would marry his second wife, who is not his cousin, 2 years later, then cheat on her with his mistress, whom he eventually made wife number 3. Man, oh man, talk about setting the pace for the Republican Party. Jeez. New on video today, Sex and the City 2. Oh, good. And Sex and the City, the complete collection, a 20-disc DVD set. I'd rather just have large knitting needles jammed into my retinas. The Back to the Future 25th Anniversary Trilogy comes out today, and part of what you're going to see is, and I think a lot of people who are fans of that movie know this, that Eric Stoltz was originally cast in the role of Michael J. Fox, And they shot for a couple of weeks, and the thing just wasn't working out, and they basically fired Eric Stoltz and brought in Michael J. Fox. And you're going to actually see a lot of the scenes that were already shot, needless to say, that were never made it into the movie because they changed the lead guy. So you're going to see that. And of course, there's a St. Louis connection too, because Bob Gale, who went to U City High School, wrote or co-wrote all of the Back to the Future movies. All right, Glee gets in more trouble tonight on Fox as they do a tribute to the Rocky Horror Picture Show. You know, they're still coming off the scandal about these girls who are 24 years old but playing girls in high school, posing, you know, in these racy little outfits. Just shut up and enjoy it, for God's sakes. Dancing with the Stars, Heart and Kylie Minogue are going to be performing, and normally we wouldn't have that on at the palatial corporate mansion, but my wife's all-time favorite band is Heart, so guess what's going to happen? We're going to get stuck watching Dancing with the Stars. That's the way it goes sometimes. It's all part of what we know as matrimonial bliss. All right, JC's Video Village. Obviously, we're starting our new radio show this week. And back in 1993, David Letterman was starting his new show on CBS. We have some interviews that we did with Dave and some bits and pieces. Very funny stuff. Look for that on the Video Village. The Wayback Machine, Margie Ellisor, out for at least a couple of months having throat problems. And I didn't mean to cough there. That was just a happenstance. And I've had some of the similar type of throat problems that Margie has had. And it has no fun at all. No fun. They got to shut her down. Anyhow, we found some tape from her in 1998 when she was doing the morning news on Channel 4. Man, I'm telling you, that's a big hair Margie had going. Get well, Margie. All right, JC's Eye Candy. They had that tornado near Dallas over the weekend, and some emergency management coordinator got stuck in the middle of it with a camcorder rolling. This dude is fortunate to be alive. Lucky he's not pulling a 2x4 out of his temple. So you can check that on JC's Eye Candy. All right, that's it. Got to go to work. Got to go to work because we're on the air on the Big 550 KTRS every day from 10 until 1. Try to catch it if you can. That's it, the Daily Dose for Tuesday, October 26th, 2010, a cooperative venture with Mind Active in beautiful downtown Brentwood. In the meantime, we've beaten this one to death. Have a good one. See you later. Bye.